Good morning and welcome to this week's edition of Marquette in Motion. We're your hosts, Hallie Kilberg
and Miranda Peters. Thank you for joining us this Saturday morning.
Students are especially happy for this weekend, knowing that they have a shortened week next week due to parent-teacher conferences.
Coming up in Segment 1, Hallie and I will be discussing these conferences.
In Segment 2, Justina will be here discussing the recent performance at Marquette.
And if you haven't been able to attend some of Marquette's athletic events, no worries, Jeb and Garrett will be here to update you on all of them.
Then, for Segment 3, Luke will be here interviewing Mr. Noah Cornelius, our second-year choir teacher.
And just a second or two after that, Macy and Amy will be looking forward to all of the events happening around Marquette, including conferences.
Now, if you go to the Marquette hallways and ask kids if they're excited about conferences, there may be some ambiguity as to what we're referring to.
Inching into the end of their seasons, athletes do have conference play or conference meets coming up.
But the conferences that we're going to be talking about relate to conferences or meetings, not between schools, but between students and teachers.
On Wednesday the 10th, students will be dismissed at 12:10, while later that afternoon and evening, parent-teacher-student conferences will be held for all preschool through 12th grade students, and possibly more importantly, for their parents.
The preschool through 5th grade parents sign up for time slots, usually lasting between 10 and 15 minutes, to meet with their children's teachers, while the parents of the 6th through 12th graders can visit the classroom of any teacher for any of their children at any time, from 3:30 until 8 o'clock.
Middle school and high school parents, if another family is visiting with the teacher you'd like to speak with, no worries, you can visit with another teacher who does not have a wait, or you can take a seat in the chairs provided in the hallway.
The chairs are usually pretty occupied, as the evening is usually very well attended, and why wouldn't it be? Through these conferences, parents can gain insight about what their child is excelling with or struggling in, are encouraged to ask questions, and are given suggestions as to what they can do to optimize their child's learning.
And, speaking of optimizing learning, once again, in conjunction with conferences, a scholastic book fair will be set up in the Media Center.
The book fair will span the duration of conferences, so it will take place on Wednesday from 3:30 until 8 o'clock p.m.
At the book fair, countless books, categorized by reading level and interest, will be on display and may be purchased on the spot.
So no waiting is necessary for students who want to snag a great book. What else don't students have to wait for? Conferences to find out their grades, as they can check anytime they wish through PowerSchool.
All students at Marquette are given a PowerSchool account which lists their classes as well as their grades. Teachers update students' grades in PowerSchool almost daily. And we'll give you all the updates with Marquette after this commercial break.
Don't go away, we'll be back with more Marquette in Motion right after the break.
Welcome back to Marquette in Motion. Here now is Justina Denlinger informing us about a recent visit from a musical group.
On Monday, October 1st, Marquette hosted the folk group Manhu. The group, comprised of 5 members, came to Marquette from the Sani region in China. Marquette students in grades kindergarten through 5th attended the performance, as did the 3rd and 5th grade students from Bellevue Elementary. Not only was the show enjoyable from an educational standpoint, but the program was very engaging and the music was very beautiful and enchanting as well. Students learned a bit about the language and the culture of the people from this particular Chinese region. For example, the tiger and 8-pointed star represent their people, while Ni Hao means hello there. Many unique instruments were played at the performance, such as the Sani flute, a moon lute, and both a small and large 3-stringed instrument. During the presentation, some students were even selected from the audience to give a try at playing a leaf. To add to the fun, students were taught a captivating Sani dance, and even Principals Jeffrey Kaiser and Jeanette Schrader gave their clapping and kicking a go. Thank you to the Dubuque Arts Council and Marquette's PTO for bringing such a wonderful and exceptional learning experience to the students of Bellevue. For Marquette in Motion, this has been Justina Denlinger.
Thanks, Justina. Up now are the boys with the sports report.
Thanks, girls. To start off this week, the girls' volleyball team faced off against the Midland Eagles Tuesday at home. At these games, both the JV and varsity teams were able to take wins in hard-fought matches.
Thursday evening, the volleyball team traveled to Kalamazoo-Wheatland for their second game of the week.
The night started off slow as the freshman-sophomore team was not able to come out with a win.
However, the JV girls won their matches, and the varsity team also took home a great victory in 4 sets.
Moving on to cross-country, the home meet scheduled for Monday at the Bellevue Golf Course was canceled due to poor weather conditions. This will not be made up.
Today, the cross-country team will be running at Northland. The race begins at 8 o'clock this morning. This marks the last meet of the normal season, with the next two meets being conference and district, respectively. We will have these results in next week's edition.
Also, congratulations to Marquette's own freshman, Sophie Long, who made the All-State dance team and will be dancing at the state basketball tournament this year. For Marquette in Motion, this has been Jeb Schwager
And Garrett Krieg.
with your Marquette Sports Report.
Thanks, guys. Don't go away. We'll be back with more Marquette in Motion after the break.
Welcome back to Marquette in Motion. Here now is Luke Keys interviewing choir director Mr. Noah Cornelius.
Hello, listeners, and thank you for joining me, Luke Keys, again for this segment of Marquette in Motion that we call Meet Marquette. Today I will be interviewing our choir teacher, Mr. Cornelius. We will be talking about his job here and a bit about an event that will be upcoming this Monday. So hello, Mr. Cornelius. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us a little bit about your job here at Marquette. What made you want to teach here?
Well, I teach K-12 here at Marquette, K-12 music. So I teach all the kids from Mrs. Kilberg's kindergarten class all the way up to the seniors. And I came here partly because I have family here. I grew up in Andrew, Iowa. I graduated from Andrew in 2000. My wife is a 2008 graduate of Marquette. So we have family here. We have young kids. So we decided to move back closer to home where we have grandparents to help out. And the Marquette job was open, so I went for it and was hired, thankfully, over a year ago now.
Nice. And so there's an event coming up this Monday. Can you tell us a bit about it?
Yes, on Monday, the 15th of October, our high school choir, and only our high school choir, will be putting on a little performance that they've been working on so far this year. They are going to be doing a concert around the theme of stage and screen, and they'll be doing music from recent musicals like The Greatest Showman, La La Land, The Newsies, and a couple other musicals. And so it looks to be like a great event, a short event, not a long concert, not a long night, again featuring only high school. And to that end, we're going to actually do it not in the gymnasium or the church, because those are really just too big of venues for what we're planning on doing. So we're going to have it in the parish center, and we're going to have our audience sit around tables, enjoy some popcorn and some drinks while we kind of serenade them and entertain them for a little while.
It's much different than past performances because the audience will have more of a chance to relax and enjoy the music, and it's more of an informal sort of deal.
Exactly. It's much more laid back, much more of a cafe type scene. We want to entertain and encourage our audience to just sit back and enjoy an evening of music amongst their busy schedule of sports and going here and there and all that. Hopefully we have one night here in the middle of October where we can just kind of sit back and enjoy ourselves and enjoy each other's company and enjoy the new parish center.
So what made you want to try new things? What made you want to branch out into something more from something more traditional to something a bit more different, I guess?
Well, I wanted to give the high schoolers an extra opportunity to perform. When I came here last year, the middle school and the high school had two performances for the year, one in the wintertime around Christmas and one in May. And for high school kids, having an entire semester where they don't really have a goal until the very end, it gets to be tedious, gets to be long and difficult. And we had difficulties because of that. So this year coming in, I wanted to do it more like I've done it in my previous positions, where we have a performance about every quarter of the year instead of each semester. And so we're going to do this performance in October for the first quarter. Then we'll have our traditional, just like last year, our Christmas performance over in the church, and that will include middle school. And then sometime in the February-March area, we're going to do another performance of more popular music before we turn around and focus in the spring on more traditional choral music again.
And I can definitely say, as being a part of choir and being a part of this, I personally have put a lot of effort and time into this. So I think it will be pretty fun. It's definitely something much different than we've done in the past.
Yes, and I'm very encouraged by the students in the high school choir. They've been very eager and ready to learn this year compared to last year. They've had a great attitude, a great work ethic, and they're making some great sounds. So I hope people come and see them on the 15th and see what they're doing.
Well, we hope to see you there, listeners, and thank you so much for being with us here, Mr. Cornelius.
Thank you so much for having me.
And thank you, listeners, for joining us on this week's Meet Marquette segment. We hope to see you there October 15th at 7 p.m. in the Marquette Parish Center. This has been Luke Keys signing off.
Thanks, Luke. Up next are Macy and Amy looking ahead.
Next Monday, October 8th, there is a JV volleyball tournament at Midland.
On Tuesday, there is a home volleyball game for freshman, JV, and varsity teams against Easton Valley beginning at 5:15 p.m.
On Wednesday, there is a 12:10 dismissal due to parent-teacher conferences, and a scholastic book fair will be held in the Media Center.
On Thursday, there is also a 12:10 dismissal and also the cross-country conference meet at Edgewood-Colesburg beginning at 4 p.m.
There is no school on Friday, but there is the varsity conference volleyball tournament Saturday the 13th at Alburnett.
For Looking Ahead, this has been Macy Kramer
And Amy Sieverding
for Marquette in Motion.
Thanks, girls. And although there's no school Friday, you can be sure that we'll be here next Saturday.
For Marquette in Motion, this has been Miranda Peters.
And Hallie Kilberg.
And remember, stay informed,
Stay involved.
stay
In motion.